The Arcturian Group Message, October 18, 2015. Welcome, dear ones, welcome to these times of new energies and unconditional love. You are moving quickly into newness and are now experiencing its energy in many forms. Do not doubt that you are in the midst of great change. Do not judge what you perceive outwardly in the world by three-dimensional standards, for they no longer serve as an accurate measure. Many of you are finding that you are unable to tolerate certain foods, especially junk foods, and also that you need much less of what you do eat. This is because your higher resonating bodies are beginning to assimilate pure energy as food, something your bodies were unable to do in the denser energies. Material food is actually the material sense of the divine energy that eternally sustains and maintains you. Many ordinary things previously believed important to your happiness have skimpy become irrelevant, often without your even noticing. Trust, dear ones, trust. You are not going crazy, nor are you getting ready to die except out of the old energy. You are in the midst of the ascension process of Gaia and yourselves, whether or not you are able to fully accept it. We wish to speak about two often misunderstood issues of living on Earth, food and sex. There is and ever has been, only the one manifesting itself in infinite form and variety. Every plant is alive with the one life, and even rocks have consciousness. Man has been erroneously taught that he is superior to all other life forms and thus has a right to dominate. This is a false interpretation of scriptures. Man has the ability to assist, support, and work with other life forms through his knowledge and gifts, but has never been given permission to dominate, misuse, or cause suffering, actions that represent duality and separation at its fullest. This realization frequently brings about an inner struggle with regard to food, and especially the eating of meat. The majority of physical bodies are still programmed from lifetimes to need meat as a protein source, although as one's energy becomes lighter and lighter, this changes. Many a serious student will attempt to eliminate all meat only to find they are unable to do so for many reasons. Failing to make the switch, they consider themselves to be spiritual failures. If this has been your experience, simply understand without guilt that your body is not yet energetically ready for the complete elimination of meat. Continue to include meat as a part, not the whole, of your diet, but begin to eat consciously. Choose meat from sources where the animal did not experience suffering and mistreatment, for the meat of these dear animals still carries the energy of fear and suffering. Remember also that your purchases serve to promote the actions of whatever business provided the meat. In many cultures of the past, an animal was thanked and honored for its sacrifice, even being asked to appear if it wanted to provide itself for food. These higher ways of mutual respect and honor have changed, and the eating of meat has simply become heavily promoted big business. Many are now working to bring respect, consideration, and happiness into the lives of animals being raised for food. Utilize these sources. You are moving energetically toward a plant-based diet of grains and vegetables, which is more compatible with the lighter energies of your ascending bodies, which is why many of the heavier foods you are used to eating no longer agree with you. You will find yourselves automatically drawn to lighter, cleaner foods without effort on your part. There is no need for food as you know it. In the higher dimensions, nutrition is light-filled in small amounts. Honor plant life forms as well for their sacrifice. The origin of saying grace before meals was not only to thank some god in the sky, but to honor the sacrifice of the food. Blessing, honoring, and sending light to everything you eat will lighten the energy of what is on your plate, making it more compatible with your new ascension status body. Never forget what food really represents on a deeper level, and also know that the energy of the one preparing the food becomes a part of the energy of the food. All must come to know and understand that there is a higher reality to everything material and ordinary. Food is just one of them. Carry spiritual awareness with you in every action taken throughout the day. There never has been spiritual versus non-spiritual, they are not separate. Everything is pure spiritual idea, but on earth interpreted according to the state of consciousness of the individual. Example, commerce business is in reality the material sense of love and gratitude. I give to you, you give gratitude back to me. Car, trains, airplanes, ships etc. are three-dimensional concepts of omnipresence, changing over time as man's consciousness has evolved. Healing and the seeking of it on all levels represents the seeking of that innate perfection already ever present within every individual. As with so many other things, sexual expression on the human level is often misused, misunderstood, and riddled with concepts of guilt and shame. Sex is usually either embraced with detached and impersonal gusto as the ultimate experience or is considered taboo, evil, and something to avoid as a sin. Neither is true. Sexual experience on the human plane is neither an end-all, nor is it an evil to be avoided. There are those that need the experiences of sexual attraction in order to grow and evolve into a higher sense of love/sex. Others do not need these experiences, having incarnated for different reasons. Many soul contracts include the need for closure with some individual or sexual experiences from past lifetimes, and therefore they will be included in the experiences of this lifetime. As with everything, sex as it is understood in the human experience is representative of a higher truth, a step toward spiritual completion. The spiritual reality is the uniting and balancing outwardly of the male and female aspects of the soul which are usually unrecognized but fully present within every individual whether in a male or female body. At some point in the spiritual journey, the two aspects become one, the soul is complete and manifests outwardly as a new and illumined individual able to express both the male strengths and female gentleness as needed in everyday living. On the human level, the joining of the male and female also results in a new person. Everything material must be understood to be in reality, spiritual. Everything a three-dimensional consciousness sees, hears, and becomes aware of is understood through filters of duality and separation. Think of it as viewing the world and everything in it as seen through a stained glass window. That which you see is perfect, but you are unable to perceive it as it really is. Sex is sacred, not to be used selfishly. Sexual actions must always embrace loving respect and mutual agreement between partners whether they be male-female, male-male, or female-female. Let intuition always be your guide, not whatever current popular thought may be, or the rules and regulations promoted by others. Sexual attraction does not indicate the need for a sexual relationship. Love and spiritual awareness is an energy that can lift the sexual experience to levels never experienced through random sexual encounters. As with all things, there are levels and more levels. In times of old, sexuality, its practice, and the higher truths of it were taught in the temples to give people a right sense of sexuality. These teachings have been lost for the most part, leaving a world of individuals often confused and hurt through an ignorance of the deeper mysteries of sexuality. Many allow themselves to be used sexually, confusing it with love. The intense energies of the sexual experience remain in an individual's energy field, good to remember when tempted by some random encounter based in physical attraction only. This is why the molestation of children is so harmful to them. The energy remains within their energy field and they are not of a mature enough level to understand, deal with it, or clear it. Many of you had these types of experiences in past lifetimes and have carried that energy with you through lifetimes and may now be manifesting as unresolved anger and sexual confusion, along with other mental and emotional issues. It is surfacing because you are now ready to once and for all time clear it. Do not resist, but instead allow yourselves to feel. Love yourselves and the dear hurt child within you, allowing no shame nor blame to enter the process, all the while remembering that you are in reality a spiritual being having human experiences. Understand it for what it is, old energy that you no longer need to carry with you. These experiences are finished and it's time to move on, leaving them in the dust of the nothingness that they really are. Some remain tempted to stay in the perceived specialness of victimhood, for it often provides loving support, sympathy, and an excuse to remain in what is old and finished. A period of healing may be required, but do not remain in that phase forever, for choosing to remain in experiences of the past will hold you firmly there, and you will continue to recreate instead of clear. Study the informational channels of Mary Magdalene for more about divine sexuality, and let go of any guilt or shame you may have accumulated with regard to sex. Sexuality is a facet of the human experience, and guilt about it is an old and useless energy created and perpetuated through ignorant beliefs. These energetically new times are enabling all who choose to live full, responsible, happy, and guilt-free lives. These are the fruits that flow infinitely and automatically from an awakened state of consciousness, one that has evolved beyond the illusions of sense that still hold much of the three-dimensional world in bondage. This is Ascension. We are the Arcturian group. Channeled by Marilyn Raphael. www.onenessofall.com